Good evening. We don't seem to have a picture at the moment.
It will be happening.
Not quite the start we wanted.
It's starting. There we go. Right, live, and just wait for that to load.
Um,
Technical issues.
bear with us. We're just
We
waiting
seem
for this to
start all the live
load.
streams with technical issues.
We'll come back to you in a moment when we're ready to do this.
Hang on. Here it is.
Right, there we go. Sorry about that. We didn't realise there was a delay. So welcome to our second live stream. Don't know how many people. We got anybody watching at the moment? Nobody watching at the moment. So we'll make a little start. We're a little bit early. Hopefully this will be a better quality than the last time, as we have bought a new webcam. It's a little bit grainy, the picture, but it seems to have solved the delay problems that we had on the last one and it freezing. So we've got a couple of different locos running tonight, and you can also see that we have a new station set up there. Like a lot of things that we do, it was accidental. We've put a building in and it's given us a whole new track plan. So we've got a little 262 in the bay platform. Just about to leave is one of our favourite locos.
The Coronation Scott. Yeah, it will. It has a delay.
We're just moving the Coronation Scott. Looks like we've got a little delay on this.
The audio is out of delay with the video too, so there you have it fine.
There we go. So this is one of our favourite locos. We have had this running on little Green Hill Halt, which is a bit small because it's only second radius, whereas this is fourth. So this is quite a smooth running loco that we have here. Got a couple of extra coaches.
Delayed, okay?
So can everybody else see what I'm seeing?
It's there. You talk when it's there.
Can everybody else see what I'm seeing?
Yeah,
Okay.
You talk when it's there, not there.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, forget about the screen. You don't need to see that.
Okay, so that's running round and round. And then what we've also got here is a new loco that I only bought yesterday, and that's Hornby Class 37 from Roxley Models in Surrey. So we got the 37 coming round there now. Nice little bargain, second-hand one from Roxley. I just paid £20 for that, and it's one of the newer ones. It's not the original trying one. Lovely condition, which I've just dropped. I knocked it off earlier, but I've managed to put it back together. But it's explained to me now why we need to have a fiddle yard on the layout, because having the locos sitting on the shelves waiting for them to go is not working terribly well. So what I'm going to do also in a moment is put another loco on before we go back to the 37. Just going to bear with me a second while I change locos, because you'll remember that I had my little Lima loco last time and we weren't quite ready to run it. We didn't have the wagons ready. So what we're doing now, that 37 was pulling 10 wagons plus a brake van, and what we've now got running is the same 10 wagons plus a brake van being pulled by my little Lima shunter, the freelance shunter. It just shows you what an amazing little loco that was for £5 or £6. It's pulling 10 wagons in a brake van. It's not that surprising. The motor, I believe, is exactly the same as they use in the bogie units for the big diesels. So it's actually got quite a big motor. We've got a little derailment, so I'm just going to sort that out. It actually went too fast, so we had a little derailment. Oh, we've still got a derailment. I can't get to it. My assistant is... we do find the Lomax are a little problematic. I think you've got coupling lock there with the wagon in front. Yeah. No, you don't need to. Take the Lomax off if you want, yeah. The Lomax we find a little bit problematic. They need weight on them, as far as we can see. And my little resin freelance armoured personnel carrier is not quite enough.
Hello to Games 202.
Hello Games 202 that's watching. We had 3 people, we're down to 2. Sorry we lost someone. So that's quite a thing to have a little loco like that pulling such a load. So if you did get one of those, you could really run your whole layout on that little £5 or £6 loco. So we'll run it round once more, and then we'll put the 37 back on. I have to remember to slow it down. We did our best to make this layout level, But it's a bit tricky. It's 9 foot by 9 foot, and there is a couple of slight gradients on it. We got a derailment, I think, so we'll just bring that round.
Quite surprised low back again.
Yeah, we'll have that off. Bear with us a sec. Actually, it's not. What's that one?
Having troubles with locos.
We're not locos, actually, rolling stock.
So, Games 202, what loco is it? What loco are you talking about? Are you talking about the little shunter, or are you talking about the big blue loco, which is a Coronation Scott?
Well, just to clarify, in case there's a delay on the message, the loco we were running was a little red freelance loco that Lima put in their train sets. You can get them quite cheaply on eBay, although you can also pay too much for them. You see people paying £10 or £12. They were all done with fictitious... Yeah, they were all done with fictitious markings for the train sets. So when they made a French train set, they put French markings on it. When they made a Yugoslavian one, they put Yugoslavian. I've seen South African and Australian, and obviously 2 British. They're actually an American Plymouth, I think it's called, switcher, so they're wrong for everywhere. So rather than try and put it in fake markings, I've painted it up as a little industrial loco. I've done a video on it if you want to go and have a look at our other videos. Basically, you clean the motors and the wheels, put a bit of weight in, add a coupling and some glazing, and they run really well. But I really wouldn't pay the £12–15 that some people pay for them. I've got 3 or 4, and I've paid, including postage, about £5 or £6 for most of them. I even got one free as part of a job lot where I sold the rest. I've actually just bought a job lot of stuff and sold the remains of a loco for the same price I paid for the job lot. So got a controller and 6 wagons for free. So you can still do this quite cheaply. A little bit out of sync, I think, with some of the filming. There we go. We're not going to do such a lot tonight because I know everybody doesn't want to just watch trains. And then the idea is when we do some more streaming, we might be doing building buildings and that sort of thing. A bit like Blue Peter, I'll half make one and then show you how I made that bit and then crack on so that we can do it as we go along. No, I'm not. Yes, I know, I'm not. So I'm getting direction from a director that I don't need. I feel like a film star.
I know that the Mark IIs are nice.
Yeah, you were talking about Mark II coaches or the shunters. There is another freelance shunter they do, which is actually the body of a German V200 on a lengthened 4-wheel chassis. You see people calling them Class 17 Claytons, which they're not. They are really superb running locos, although I've only seen them with Ho couplings, but they do go for £15 to £25. I've got 2 that I didn't pay that for, but they are all very erratic. I've also had one that I couldn't get running, and it's the same with the little Lima shunters. Some will run okay, some won't. They built millions of the things with the train sets. Oh, we got another derailment. There we go. But the Coronation Scott looks fabulous going round. But I do like my big diesels, I'm afraid. I don't remember steam trains. I might be 52, but I don't remember steam trains. I don't actually remember diesels because I had no interest in trains until 3 years ago. Although I spent a great deal of my late teens, in fact, on the railways, being pulled by who knows what diesels. I wish I did know, but I don't. And so all my interest in railways is what I've picked up in the last 3 or 4 years. I wouldn't have been into diesels, but I built, the third loco I had was a scratch-built 08. And in Smith's I got a book on diesels that was done by, I think, British Railway Modelling Special. And it just inspired me to like the diesels. And I've now got a 24, 2 25s, a 26, a 33, 2 31s, a 35, 2 37s, a 47, 2 47s, and a 55. So I've got a bit carried away with my diesels.
Just to check with everyone, is the sound, the audio and the video working perfectly?
Our monitor's not showing it very well, so it'd be nice to know if what people are seeing is okay. Have we got a delay?
Is the audio in sync with the video?
Is the audio in sync with the video? Although I'm really rabbiting anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Hopefully people are just watching the trains go around. A couple more coming around there now. I'm just going to hold that one for a minute and see if I can get these in a bit better sync, so that you've always got something coming round. There we go. We've got Lima ferry vans on there. Again, I know they're not technically correct, but I rather like them, so I buy them whenever I can get them cheap. Excellent. Thank you, Dave. Thanks for the message, letting us know that we've got good audio video.
Thanks Ian Rennie for being on this live stream as well as the other one. I'm sure this one's a lot better.
Hopefully this one's running a bit smoother. And as we build the layout, then we'll do some more. As the scenery improves, we'll do it from different angles. We're going to have this 9 foot by 9 foot. So we've got lots of potential. We've got a port planned and a bit built. We've got a shunting area planned in front of the station, you can see. And possibly a raised hill railway in 009. So I'm just going to put the Lima shunter on again for a minute for those of you that were looking at that. So I'm just going to run the 37 round through the station. That's a good looking loco though, I'm really pleased with that. I know it's an old kit, an old model, but it only cost me 20 quid, so I'm more than happy with it. I'm afraid all my modelling is a bit governed by price. If I had to pay a lot of money for something, for me, it takes the edge off of it. I like to know, which is why we call budget model railways, that I've got a little bit of a bargain, and then I can live with it if it's not quite a superb loco. Oh, hi Andy, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying watching the trains go around. This is the shunter we've been talking about. And so that's pulling, well, it was pulling 10 until one derailed, but it's pulling 9 wagons and a brake van, so it's not bad for a little shunter. It will actually run relatively slow. I'll have a little go in a minute and see if we can get it running through the station slow.
Oh no, our first freeze of the night. There we go, it's back to normal.
We had a little bit of a freeze, haven't we? Right, let's just see if we can get this running slow through the station.
See how much better that is now?
Yeah, we've just got it running in slow now. Oh, a little bit too slow. But it picks up, you see, you put the power in. I found with them, if you clean the wheels and add some weight, they're a remarkably good loco. They actually shunt better, run slowly, pulling enough wagons. They've got a bit of a quick motor otherwise. Yeah, we've got a little bit better picture now, and it's
a little bit blurry.
It's a little bit blurry, but hopefully if you guys are saying we haven't got the freeze frame and everything, then that's fine. Please put your comments on, happy to hear from you. The guy's asking about the Lima shunter, can I give you any more info on those? Is there anything else you'd like to know? I say I've done a video on doing it up. I just undercoat them. I use Hornby rail colours because I find they're really good paints. They've got a nice sheen on them, not matte, not gloss. They cover quite well with a couple of coats. The glazing was added just from the cellophane from, I can't remember if it was a cake box or a shirt box, but something like that. And I've weathered the outside frames below, painted the steps white, painted the grills so they show. Hopefully we haven't got too much noise in the background. And as I say, I'd like to just do a little thank you to Roxley Models, which are up in Surrey, Betchworth Way. Very helpful people, and that was a good little bargain, that loco. They do occasionally have some nice second-hand stuff up there, as well as a good range of new. And obviously the other shop we always mention is Classic Rail at Ticehurst, which is a real Aladdin's cave for second-hand. Although if you are going there, give him a little ring first, because sometimes he's out buying second-hand stock. But that's a good Aladdin's cave. I have to say, I've dealt with about 5 or 6 model railway shops, and I've found them all to be very friendly and helpful. Kernell Model Centre down in Cornwall, very good. I've used their internet site as well, very quick, reasonable postage. Gauge Master, obviously, if you want new, Gauge Master's got just about everything you can want. Douglas spent all his Christmas money in there one year, much to his mother's disgust. It's a good job she doesn't know how much we spent on all this railway, or I'd be selling it all to fund the divorce. In fact, we've got a friend in Sri Lanka who we sent some model railway items out to, so he could start his own model railway, because it's one of those countries where they don't really have model railways. And he said the same thing. So it's pretty international, guys. Yeah, it's pretty international. But yeah, there's quite a few countries. I had a guy contact me from the Philippines. There's no model railway out there, and unfortunately unreliable postage. We tried contacting China, but there doesn't seem to be a model railway scene in China. Bizarre, considering that's where all the trains are made. And when there is, they don't seem, the few videos I've seen, they don't seem to go in for scenery very much, but I guess it's early days out there. Some fantastic looking locos though, I have to say, some big Chinese diesels. So that's the little shunter coming round again. I reckon I could get it pulling about 2 more wagons, but we'll leave it as it is for the moment. Hope you like the little station scene. That's probably the way it's going to look. Bay platform. You'll also see the ballasting, which is this roofing felt that we use, and I think that shot shows quite well that it's actually quite an effective way of doing it. It's very quick, it's very reliable. Yep. There you go, Douglas just pointing there that you can see it if you hadn't seen it before. Very quick, very reliable, and for us very cheap because it was left over from doing a roof. Even if you had to buy a roll, it's something like 10 square meters on a roll for 20 quid, which is an awful lot cheaper than buying ballast mat. And it doesn't also drop grit everywhere like the ballast mat does. Although we are experimenting with some cheap ballasting techniques as well. I've got a video coming up where I went in a garden centre in the aquarium centre and found big bags of ballast. Yeah, I showed you how to install the ballast on a video, that's right. And there's a new one coming up, as I say, using some gravel that they use in fish tanks. Hi Dave, thanks for that. And wait till you see the new one, because as I say, I got a huge bag of ballast for $2.99, goes in the bottom of fish tanks, and I've got a layout I'm going to use it on. Also, I got an idea from Continental Modeler, something called chinchilla dust. It's what chinchillas bathe in, and that again is a huge box for $2.99, but it is a beige sandy colour, so I guess it's only going to do for certain railways. I also experimented with dried tea leaves. That's the advantage of it's free, especially with the quantity of tea I drink, and it does work really well, but it's brown. So again, I think probably an industrial layout where the ballast hasn't been kept in very good condition. It does look a bit like ash, and I have seen a comment, somebody saying that if railways weren't maintained, everything went brown anyway. So if you drink a lot of tea, you do need to dry the tea leaves in the oven, and you have to, when you use them as ballast, it's much lighter, so you can't brush it out too much. But when I get time, I'm going to do a video on all those 3 techniques, because it's a hell of a lot cheaper than using proper ballast. Oh, we got 6 people watching now. Thank you very much. I hope we've still got. Yep. I hope you've still got in sync videos and sound. I'm just going to pause for a minute because I've got a. Oh, I've lost the tank somewhere. Doug, yeah? We've lost the tank somewhere.
Have we?
Yeah, and I don't want it to derail.
We have lost the carriage, have we? Where?
Where's the
1,
tank?
2,
It should be on there.
3. Oh, it's here.
No, that's the second one.
Oh, we've lost the tank.
I don't mind. I just don't want it to derail anything.
Where
We've lost
is
a
it?
load. We've lost an APC off of our.
We've lost the tank. Are you sure that isn't it?
Yeah, there's 2.
What? Where's the tank?
So.
This is a worry.
I hope that didn't happen in real life, but I suppose it might have done.
Maybe
It may be on the floor somewhere.
Oh, here it is.
Now we have it. That's part of my old hobby, which was wargamings, and I did my own freelance armoured vehicles. I actually designed 10 different marks of armoured personnel carrier and 4 different marks of tank, and I used to make them in white metal, and I sold about 300 models worldwide of various vehicles. Quite fiddly. One tracker tank I built had 200 parts to each suspension unit, so when it comes to scratch building things like wagons and trains, that's fairly simple for me, and I'm looking forward to doing some more. I've built 2 freelance locos, and I'm hoping to build some more. And as always, if I do, we'll do videos. So I'm just going to look around me now and see if we've got any different locos we can put on, because you've had a good look at the Lima one. So I'm just going to switch it now back to the... I wish I'd brought... I have got a fantastic Class 26 which runs well, but I haven't brought that upstairs with me. We are up in our loft, and at the moment all our locos are stored down in our conservatory, which is our other railway room. We have cut back a bit. We've only got 2 layouts in the shed. One runs, one's our exhibition layout in storage. We have this layout in the loft. I have a shunting layout and a loop layout that I'm building in the conservatory. So it has rather taken over. My wife, bless her, has been quite understanding really, given how much we have taken over. And we hope to finish some of them eventually.
The audio is amazing.
Douglas tells me in the picture and audio is much better than last time. He's just nipped down to have a look at...
Comments. Ian Rennie, are there any types of material that looks like ballast of high speed points?
What colour? I don't know. Depends what colour the ballast is.
And have you got a view of the whole layout, Vincent Burlington says? Shall I give a view?
Well, we can do a view. It's very messy, guys, because it's really only just started. But yeah, we can do a quick span around and give you a view, give you a little guided tour. The only trouble is, Doug, you can't see what you're seeing.
It might be a bit shaky. Right, I know how to see what I'm seeing.
So bear with us, guys. Okay, we're showing the roof.
Right.
So
Here's the station.
and this will be the goods yard in front. Yeah. At the moment, that's the scratch-built factory I made. That's a super quick barn, reclad in brick paper to look like a factory, with a platform added and a couple of buildings off the side and a chimney. Great way of getting a factory, much cheaper than the Metcalf kit, and a little bit original. So I'm quite pleased with that one.
Apologise for shakiness.
A little bit shaky. You need to move a bit more because otherwise they're going to die of boredom. So that we've got a little town through there, but that's where you're looking now. Will eventually be a hill. Then round the side.
Oh, my ugly face.
I think we've got a bit of freeze.
Oh no, we have a bit of freeze.
So.
Oh no, I know why. Cable's come unplugged.
If you've lost us, we are just coming back. It's like real TV, this, isn't it?
Right, I'll put the webcam back.
Okay, you may lose us for a little while we just reset this.
Oh, no. Oh, very much no. Oh no.
We might need to go off air and.
You have audio but not video, people.
Okay. Why is that then? Hopefully we're back. Hopefully we've still got some guys watching. Perhaps we could get a message just telling us if it's working, because we can't see, or Doug, you might have to nip downstairs and see.
No, I kicked everyone out of it. Oh no, everybody's still back in.
Everybody's back in. Okay, ladies and gents, I don't know if there's any ladies out there. If there's any ladies out there, please say hello. I know it's not all blokes that do model railways.
Yes. I said sorry, he's like, yes, sure.
Okay, everything working? That's great, guys. We're back to normal, hopefully. With one more thing we can try. Oh, that's thanks, guys. Thanks, Ian. Glad to know it's all working. Right, we might do something different in a minute if I can get to it.
Oh, Andy Hudson.
Hi, Andy.
Have a look at Glebro Junction.
Ah, excellent. Okay, guys, Glebro Junction. Andy Hudson says have a look at the Glebro Junction. He's used chinchilla dust on his layout. So that's worth having a look at.
Oh no, I've only got 3 watching. Why'd you leave
Well,
us?
we lost 3 probably when we went off air.
Yeah.
We've got to put the kettle on or watching Coronation Street or EastEnders or something. Well, mind you, we've got drama here. We've gone off air. We've had technical issues. You know.
Really, Andy, I'm stuck to him. I will have a look.
Excellent. Now we should also put a quick plug in while we've got a few people watching that we're hoping to do another broadcast next Friday, but that will probably be some building something, possibly buildings. I'm really getting into scratch building my buildings, so I might do a little something on that, because I think probably don't want to watch too many videos of trains running, as again we haven't really got enough up here to. Unless you want to nip down and get a couple of locos out of the cupboard.
I'll choose.
Yeah, see if you can find any of the big diesels.
Andy, I watched Glebro Junction.
Yeah. You could see if you could find the diesel multiple unit, the blue one, yeah, because I've got the other end of it up here. Doug's just disappeared for a minute because he's just going to go and see if we can get a couple of locos from downstairs so we can do a bit more filming. I've got another nice one I'd like to run round. It's really great to do this because we haven't been able to run trains really for a long while. The loft's actually been here for over a year. We built the baseboards over a year ago. And then we then got sidetracked building lots of little layouts. It was only really recently when we realised that we really couldn't run trains anywhere else. The exhibition layout is too big. That lives in the shed on its end. The room I've got downstairs is only a small loop. I can run shunting layouts okay. We can't run these prototypical long trains. So we've finally made a decision to stop getting sidetracked and get on with the loft. We also had a great idea from a guy in America. Sorry, can't remember your name, mate. And he said, don't plan the whole thing, do one bit. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the station area. And then when that's built, we'll then plan the rest of it so that we can actually get, effectively, we'll end up with a 4 foot by 2.5 foot layout with a bloody great fiddle yard. And then as we build it, we'll add to it. I also had my view changed about fiddle yards. Couldn't understand why people had them until I got fed up with putting locos on and off. I've dropped locos, and so we are going to have quite a big fiddle yard. I'm going to use the Lima points and isolators that I've got cheap, so I can do a big multi-road fiddle yard. And then we could do a bit of film like this and have all sorts of locos running. So, and this is all DC, not DCC. I don't get on with that. I don't really see the advantage of some of it. Not for these simple layouts. Yeah, I know some people like the sound. I've got two views. I can see the sound. I can understand why people like it. But lots of us war-gamed for 20 or 30 years without the sounds of Sherman tanks and gunfire. So yeah, I suppose it's all a question of how much money you've got. Yeah, I'm sure it'll come. Oh, is that the one you got? You didn't get the... Okay. We'll try this one. Something a little bit different. I'm going to tell you when I put it on. It can be a surprise. Because don't forget, they've all gone off to watch EastEnders because they want some drama. 7 people watching now. That's more than we had in the live stream.
7 people watching this live stream. That's more than we had last time, which is good.
Right, this is another one of my favourite locos.
I like it.
This is a little Hornby Class 25. Coming round now. I got it cheap because the roof had been painted rather appallingly a very light grey, and I've managed to repaint the roof. It needs to be a slightly darker shade, but I've got a paint to try. But it's a very smooth running loco, runs really well, pulls quite well. There we go, that's pulling all those wagons quite happily. So, so are they seeing that now, or what we're looking at?
They're seeing that, but the audio's out of time with that.
Okay, well, apparently the audio's a little bit out. It doesn't matter. It's not.
They see it fine.
Apparently you can see everything fine. So the 25's come. Oh, just going to stop this one for a second. We've got a tanker wagon keeps derailing. What, spray painting them? No, I haven't got an airbrush, and I found that using a good quality paint and a good quality brush, I can get the sort of results I want.
Which loco do you think is the best one around, all the ones you have?
Of the ones that we're running here, difficult to say really. Probably the 25. The big steam locos run fine on the big radiuses without too many points. The advantage of the diesel locos is being bogies. They tend to run well over points and everything else. So I do like those, and as I say, I'm a diesel fan, I'm afraid, guys. I'm just going to slow the 25 down a bit. In fact, we'll stop that and then you can have a little look at it. I hope it's in shot where it is. I think it's in shot just.
Maybe move it back a bit if you're in shot.
So that's always a good test of a loco. That's had the power applied,
Yeah, that's really good.
and it's moved off with 10 wagons. Now when you think, again, to talk about DCC and things like that. Oh, Halford's car spray, nice one. These controllers we're using, I've got an old Hornby R914 controller and an old HM Rocket controller. £5 for the Hornby, £2 for the Rocket.
We have a jokester.
Yeah.
Which do you think is the best runner? What's
Yeah, football's on, isn't it? Is that what, yeah? Well, we've got 9 people who are doing this and not watching the football. So I was saying about the controllers. Controllers are crucial. A bad controller, I've had Locos that I thought wouldn't run well until I changed the controller. However, you don't seem to need a very expensive controller to get good running, especially on these bigger layouts. Shunting is a little different, but the best shunting controller I've got is a Mahano controller that I got for a couple of quid as part of a job lot. And in fact,
the one we got on the Green Hill?
well, we've got a nice AEGW controller that works well, but again, that was only 20 quid for a double controller. I've got a Mahano, they do a controller with a red sliding switch, and that's really good, and that again was only a few quid.
Oh yeah.
The ones that are awful, I'm afraid, are the ones that came in the train sets. The older Hornby ones are much better than the new ones, but they're still not as good as these better controllers. We had 9 just now.
Yeah. At least the videos are better this time, stop jumping.
I think the important thing with painting is that you do what you're happy with. I'm going to have a go at weathering. It took me a few years to get round to weathering my armoured vehicles. I know it looks better, and when I get time, I am going to have a go at gently weathering. Action's a show, I guess. A Lima controller, yeah. I mean, just whatever you can get. I've seen people uprate them, but basically the older controllers seem to have a bit more juice. I've heard very good things about the Gauge Master controllers, but they go for quite a lot of money even second hand, but then they do have a lifetime guarantee. So I'm going to keep looking for one of those, see if I can get one cheap. How long have we been broadcasting? Okay, we'll do about 10 more minutes as we've got 8 of you watching. Now, strangely enough, some of the other controllers... Yeah, you know, the HMN duets seem to be really good, and in fact, interestingly, Roxley Models, where I bought my Class 37, that's what they use to test any locos on DC, is an old HM duet. So yeah, nothing wrong with those. I've also got on really well with the Juve controllers, the ones with a little knob on the front. They're no good for shunting because the switch is too fiddly, your fingers get sore. But they deliver power really well, although occasionally you need to convert them, you need an adapter because they have a European plug on them. So any of the older controllers seem to work well. £5, £10, £20, £25 for like a duet or a good AGMW double controller. The double controller's been fabulous. We ran them at Bluebell. You think we're running 8 hours a day for 2 days. We've used that for 5 days in total now. No trouble at all. We did have a guy at the last show said to us he didn't exhibit because he'd have to throw his locos away after a day's exhibiting because they've been burnt out. I don't know where that comes from because we've been running locos for days and days and there's no problem. Exhibiting's great fun. We're definitely up for a bit more of that. We've got a cunning plan for a new exhibition layout. Green Hill's getting a bit tired. It's been bashed around a bit.
A new exhibition layout that should be impossible.
It should be. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, I've lost the train, I think.
You haven't lost the tank yet.
No, we haven't lost the tank. Yeah, absolutely, can't beat them. Yeah, I'd say I heard good things on the H&M. But I'd say I can't say enough. The Mahano ones are good. This Hornby R914 is good. The Hornby one, obviously the Juve ones, and one of the Mahano ones also have outlets for all your points and everything. And the AGW that we use, that's how we power our points off of that. On this one though, we're going to use an old controller separately just to drive all the points, just to keep things simple.
Everard Junction does that.
Yeah. Everard Junction's a good video, guys. 5 Elms we gave a good push to last time. That's an excellent lot. If you want to see one about doing things relatively cheaply, Barry Davis does a couple of good ones as well. If you have a look out for his videos. It's a little bit more up budget than me, because he might be buying £15 coach that should be 50, and I wouldn't spend 15 on a coach, but he has a lot of good ideas.
We have a lot of pair controller, very old Hornby 2 DCC controller to very old no-name controller.
Yeah, the old Hornby controllers are quite good, yeah.
Old
Yeah, old Hornby DCC. I know because Airfix and Hornby did some pre-DCC multi-train systems that I guess could be interesting if you could re-chip your locos. But we'll stick with DC. So how about some guys telling us what their favourite locos are that they're on their layouts? That'd be interesting to know. I'm sure there must be some steam ones out there because I know a lot of guys are into their steam. I like my big locos, my diesels. Although that Coronation Scott is a bit good looking, isn't it?
That's fine.
That's a lovely look. Yeah, it cost enough money, that one. That was a Christmas present. I say it cost enough money. It was 70 quid. I've seen them go for 100. So, you know, it's all relative, isn't it?
It's a lovely looking.
Me, I like paying 5, 10, 20 pound for a loco.
But it was mine.
But it was his. So I particularly like my 37 for 20 quid. I'm pleased with that. My little Lima for 5 or 6 quid. I'm funny like that. I just don't like spending huge amounts of money on a hobby. I have spent a huge amount of money, but not in one go. To be fair. Okay, we're offline. I think and you've lost everybody. I don't know. Why did you even touch it?
Oh no, we haven't. It's not weird.
It's all right. My son's been playing with it, and we thought we'd lost everybody.
Games who likes Lima Class 52.
Lima Class 52. Oh yeah.
Royal Scots are my favourite steam.
A mainline pannier for £10. Now that's a buy. That's a nice little loco. I've seen those. Yeah. Class 47 for diesels. Yeah.
My favourite locos are steam and electric. City and ready.
Yeah. No, I've seen a few electric. I'm really tempted by. I was going to say this wrong. Cantanary. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I'm quite tempted to have a go at doing electric. If I can get one cheap enough, I might give it a go. High-speed train with a full rake. Yeah, if you've got the space, that'd be fabulous, wouldn't it? No, the real full rake is about 12 coaches in real life.
Well, I have 7 of them.
We have 7, but yeah. But then I also like, I've got quite a lot of the little Hornby 040, they're sort of freelance locos, and they're just such fabulous runners. If you get a good one, they shunt. In fact, we might go and get one of those in a minute. One of the little Hornby 040 locos. You know the ones we use on Green Hill? I've got a couple on my layout downstairs.
Dave Last got a mainline carrier, but the quartering is out.
Where does it say that? Quartering. Oh, it doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not that technical.
Ian Rennie says Eurostar and Flying.
Yeah, Eurostar. I've seen a few Mahano do some in Ho, which go quite cheap. Flying Scotsman's lovely. I like, is it B12? Somebody might tell me. Haven't got one yet because I can't find one at the price I want. Somebody's got 6 Class 45s. Well, my weakness is Lima Ho Class 33s. I've got 7. I've converted one to... Oh, we'll get that up here one night. I've got one that I painted in Great Western colours, brown, cream and white, as a what if, and I've got a rake of coaches for it. We really must do that one time, just to annoy all the purists. But they're such lovely running locos. I use them as well. I've got a plan to use one to power a Daypole minibus, rail bus. So I think I've got 6 or 7 of those. I did send one to Sri Lanka because they're reliable. They're great locos. But yeah, Class 45s, the Peaks. I guess, Dave, that they're the mainline Peaks, are they, the 45s? Or have you got some Bachmann or something like that? Let us know. I have to stop this in a minute and go, I must have a tea break. But great to have so many people watching. That's wonderful. We can't see what you're seeing, so I'm hoping that it's still smooth. Just sent my assistant to go and get one of the little Hornby 040 locos to show you. We've got a little bleep. Yeah, mainline ones. Yeah. Mainline. I have looked at those, and if I can find one cheap enough, then I'm going to have one of those. I'm a tight so-and-so, but that's what I like. I'd say I don't like to pay too much for anything. I've had a few non-runners I've got going as well. The thing I like about non-runners, if you can't get them going, you can nearly always sell them for what you paid for them. So I do have the odd tinker. I'm a little bit challenged mechanically, but I can get most going. Alright, my assistant is returning, I think. we'll do about 10 more minutes, and that'll probably do everybody for tonight, especially as we're down to 5 watchers. So we'll hopefully be same time next week, in which case talk to your friends. Let's see what viewer numbers we can get. Oh, you brought that up with one coach. Oh, okay. What, rather than the 040? This will take a moment to change. I've actually got 5 of these, but Douglas heard me, so he's gone and got my repainted 33. This will amuse you. If you're watching, stay watching, because this will amuse you. Son, help.
I've been told to help. I heard you talking, so Dad, so I got it.
So this will amuse you.
Wait, can I just hold this in front of the webcam to show what it is?
Yeah. Now I hope this will run, because we haven't run it for a while.
The sides are neat,
Yeah.
not all the way around.
No. Now, so I've actually got 5 coaches for this.
Dave Marshall's picked up a replica TVG with a bit of a knock going on way in.
Oh yeah, they're nice to teach you, do.
Ian Rennie's trying to get one with front any cheap.
Oh, hang on. Coaches all the way round, so it's a little cut on that end. What you can do with that one.
You do need to see this though, everyone.
Yeah, don't disappear for the moment, because this is a bit different.
No, somebody disappeared, I think.
We don't say things like that. Oh, hang on. Doug.
Yeah.
So, the idea of this that's coming around now, no, it wants a little push then. Hasn't run for 6 months. And we think we might have a frozen screen. Bear with us a second. Do whatever you did earlier. Right, so I'm just going to, if you may just have seen this already, but I'm just going to run it round again in case. Or can you start again? Is it working or not? We're getting messages, so I guess the guys can still see. Sorry? You might lose video for a little while. We're just having a few technical issues this end, although I guess you guys can probably still see. Don't know if you've just seen that.
And then just disconnect it again.
Try again. Think off and start again or not? If you are still hearing us, if we go for a minute, we're back in a couple of seconds. Right, and we think it's working. Have a look at this.
It just went off again. That's what that bleep means.
You sure it doesn't mean it's a message coming in?
Yes.
Do you want me to stop the train? Right, hopefully you can see us.
And then it's just frozen again. We're going to have to stop.
Turn the whole thing off and start again, because we're having some technical issues. Yeah, he's just come up and said frozen screen. Look. Loads of comments. Right, let's just try and see. No. Yeah, it's right. Right, so coming past here now is a what if. This is a Lima Ho Class 33, converted to look a bit like a 26, because I've filled in the cab windows, with colour matched coaches from the old Lima train sets. So the idea is that's what it might look like if they hadn't done nationalisation. So no, it's been good for 35, nearly an hour. We've been broadcasting for an hour, son. Can't stand in front of all the controllers.
Right, are we working again? Sort of, maybe. We might have to stop.
Okay.
While it's working at the moment.
Right, we hope we're still working. Right, turn it all off and start again. I think if you can still hear us, we're going offline. It doesn't look like it's working as far as we can see. Okay. Back on. Oh, we've still got a few people watching. So there comes the great... Oh, we've lost a coach. I'm going to... Stop that there. Oh, excuse me. We've got the hand of God coming in here. Or big hand from the sky, depending on which expression you like. Give me a push, please. Just gently. So these... Is it crushed again? No, I think we're working. So these are the Lima coaches that come with the train sets. They are Ho. They paint up all right. I've also converted them to make freelance rail buses and things like that. So interested to see what you think of that. Is that something a little bit different? You're not going to see one painted like that. That was a little hand painted job.
That's what I've commented.
Yep. If anybody's still on there, perhaps you could give us some comments, please. Let me know what you think of my Great Western Class 26. Okay, it's done for now. If everybody can still hear us, we're going to... Yeah, come on then, because we've got things we need to go and do. Yeah.